Good morning, folks, from Donegal, Ireland. Jonathan Powers, my name, and I'm the founder of Catered Websites and WP Foodie School. And today I want to talk about how to publish your recipes on your website and what platform you should be using. So here we have our digital recipe card in WordPress. And I want to discuss why we should be using WordPress, because a lot of people are make the mistake of starting off on Wix to publish their recipes. And the problem is that we don't have the same features in Wix that we have in WordPress that will benefit us publishing our recipes online. And what happens is people don't realize this at the start when they're using Wix, and then they have to transfer from one platform to the other. So the best thing to do is you need to be starting off with WordPress and the WP Recipe Maker plugin. And to explain what I mean, I'm going to try and explain now. It is going to be a little bit technical, but I'll take my time and hopefully it'll be clear what I mean. Because with WordPress, we have our recipe card here, and we have great features that we can allow people to save recipes to their own digital recipe book. They can create their own account, their own private account, and save recipes and add private notes. In the recipe card, we have a function here called cook mode, which means while you're cooking, and if you activate that button, it stops the screensaver coming on, which is very handy. And we have an interactive checkbox feature here, which is really great. When you're preparing your meal, you can check off the ingredients as you're preparing your meal, and the same with the instructions. We can do that. We can check things off as we're going. And we have a timer feature as well that I haven't actually added into this recipe card, but to remind us when to take our food out of the oven or off the hob, whatever. So never burn dishes again. And your audience is going to love you with these features. For marketing, we have social sharing features here. People can share the recipes even by email, and we can add a button as well. There's a feature in WP Recipe Maker where we can share recipes even by text message. So to cover a little bit of the techie stuff, when you search for a recipe online, folks, you go to Google and you search a recipe, and I've searched here for carrot cake recipe, and I get all these results here, and we get the name of the company, Inspired Taste, and we get rating information, the time of the time for cooking. We get a breakdown of some of the ingredients here, and this is called structured data, folks, and that's shows up in Google because they are using a recipe card that automatically does the structured data for you and provides Google with that information. So here we have a company, they're an organic vegetable company here in Galway in Ireland, and they have a recipe feature here, but unfortunately they're not using a recipe card. And we can see here, and this is a problem that a mistake that loads of people are making, that they're not aware of, that they're just publishing the recipes like as if it's just Word, and they're not using a recipe card that provides all this structured data information. So when people search for the recipe, if they search for, this is called nut roast, parsnip mushroom and blue cheese, an excellent recipe, looks really good. I love the way they wrapped it in the cabbage leaves there, the way it's done. It's really, really creative. Presentation is really good. Looks great. But the problem is, if people search for that, it won't show up in Google because they're not using the recipe card and they're not telling Google all about the recipe. Do you see the difference? It's just like this, and they've none of the lovely interactive features. They don't have the social sharing buttons and all the other stuff. People can't actually save the recipe to a recipe box either. Like I explained here, there's no social sharing. We can put in portion control as well here as well. So there's none of all this interactive features that we need for our audience, and we can even add our own private notes that nobody else will see as well. So you can see it's creating a really good user experience for our audience. So Google provide a tool called, it's a Shima tester. So if we go to that site, we can copy the URL and we go to the Shima tester and put in the URL, and we can see over on the right here that we just have a list of URLs. And like, there's no errors, but there's no recipe data. Now, to explain what I mean, if we go to the page of my recipe here and we copy the URL and we go to the Shima tester, you can see here that it's my site, e-commerce catered websites, curry lentils. See here, it says recipe at the top. Google recognizes that post online as a recipe, and there's no recipe here. It's just going by Hentree. That must be the name of the, maybe that's the name of the, it's the title of the post or something here. But we can see what I mean? All along here, there's no recipe information. So if the two of us publish the exact same recipe with and without the recipe card, my recipe will show up in the top of Google for curried lentils. Their recipe won't show up. It will show up somewhere, but it'll be way down here somewhere, in maybe on the 10th page of Google, and nobody's going to find it. You want your recipes to, when people search, to come up here at the top with the structured data. People can see it then. And the results here at the top, folks, have a 70% click-through rate. So it's a massive thing. You're missing out on massive traffic if you can get your recipes to show up in the top results here. You know, so it's a massive missed opportunity there. If you're using Wix, you need to move over to WordPress for that and sort that out big time, because you're literally wasting your time. You know, you're missing out on huge opportunity and retaining your audience as well. Here's another example of the same thing. These people are a big company. I think they're a Canadian food company. They have a shop. They're using Shopify and recipes as well. They should have the recipes on a subdomain. And I went to one of their recipes, this plum upside down cake. And when we go here, the same thing. There's no recipe data telling Google that that's a recipe. They're missing out on all that good stuff, all that good traffic. We can see here with the curry lentils and my results, we can see when we go down, see the way all the ingredients are here. Google knows all the ingredients are there. That will show up here in Google if somebody searched for my curry lentils. You know, there's a ton of data that the recipe card does for you. It tells who the publisher is, and here all the instructions are here, and we have ingredients, we have instructions, and then if we have a video, it'll show up here in the results as well. So you get the idea, folks. You need that for the SEO for that. So that's the SEO covered there, the structured data. So that's what I want to get at. So you should be using WordPress and the WordPress Recipe Maker plugin. But now you're going to say, how do I do it? Over on the Bootstrap Ventures, this is Brett here. It's actually his birthday this week and they're doing a promotion. So now is a great time to buy the recipe card plugin. There's different versions which have different features, which I'll get to next. So there it is. We can discuss how do you make money as a food blogger with the recipe card. So you can monetize with advertisements, with Mediavine. So here's the opportunities. You can make money with affiliate marketing. We can put links in the recipe cards to products anywhere. Amazon, all sorts of places. So you get a commission if somebody buys a product from the link on your site. You can be a brand ambassador promoting other people's products. You can monetize your blog with email list. You can do coaching services, use the recipe card to share recipes for cooking classes, workshops, cook-alongs, recipe books, meal plans, and you could create a specific membership for certain type of people. Maybe you could start a weight loss You could start a weight loss club, something like that. So that's there. And then we have how to share recipes properly, step by step. So I link to these articles. Where should you share recipes? What tools do you need? And here it is. Here's the part I'm looking for: how to share recipes on your food blog with WP Recipe Maker. And he talks through it there. Like I said there, I'll link to that in the description for the video. And next thing, I'm going to show you very quickly how it's done. I link to this article. He tells you how to install the plugin in your little WordPress site. And there's the great thing as well, folks. If you're not using a recipe card, that we need, you're missing out on the good stuff, the recipe analytics, the recipe card, the settings in the recipe card. We can actually go in there into the analytics, and it'll actually tell us what recipes are doing the best, so we can use that information for our marketing. So if you don't have the recipe card, you're missing out on all that good stuff that you can do. Data-driven marketing. You can do marketing based on the analytics information. You can see what recipes in your site are doing the best, what people are liking, and produce more recipes in that niche so that you're on your road to success. And another thing as well, we have the nutritional facts as well. If you're into coaching, training, we have that in the recipe card as well. You can turn it on and off. I don't have it here on the site, but it's there if you need it. So here is the recipe card plugin. Now, I know this looks complicated, but it's really not, folks. That there's tons of videos online. I'll be doing more for my channel. When you download the Recipe Maker plugin, you install it and it'll show up here. And then you go up here and you go to manage your recipes. And they'll all show up here, and we have information here. That's the SEO is telling me that I need to improve the content in some of these recipes, that it's missing essential data for Google. So there's another great feature that you need. So when we go into the curry lentils, we can see here that I've added the image there, and that shows up at the top, folks, there. And you go into, you put in the name, you put in the summary of what it's about. You can see now, if I save that like that, and the summary should come up in the recipe card now. When I update, you can see now that the summary, I talk about the recipe and it'll come up there, folks, is how that works. So it's super easy. Like, you go down through it, you set the servings, you put in the times, prep time, cook time. You decide on the courses, the cuisines, the diets, the keywords, list the equipment, ingredients, all step by step there. And then the really good stuff is, when you put in all that data, the recipe card will actually automatically calculate the nutritional data for you. We go to the next step. And you can see that that's all there, folks, now. Use these values. You don't even have to do it yourself bit by bit. It's all automatic with a thing called an API. And if you want to put in additional notes for your recipe, that all goes there. So you save that. You go through it step by step, you save all that, and we can see now that our recipe has a ID number here that's unique to each recipe. So we go over to WordPress, we have our, if I want to publish the curry lentils recipe again, all I have to do is go add new post. There's no coding, folks. It's really, really simple. We'll go curried LENT, curry lentils recipe for video, just so we'll know that it's different from the other one. And so we want to go to WP Recipe Maker, insert existing recipe, curry lentils, go insert and publish. That's how easy it is, folks. We can see the preview there, and we can see we now have the nutritional data at the bottom as well. So, and we can, there is a way, sometimes people, if they're training on a diet, whatever, they might be sensitive to seeing nutritional data. So in a previous video, I showed people how you can actually hide the nutritional data behind a button. So if people want to see the nutritional data, all they have to do is click on the button and they'll see it. So here we go. There's the one, there's the previous one that I showed you. There's no nutritional data at the bottom and the summary is there. So we go here now, curried lentils recipe for video. So you can see the title is different and it's there, and the nutritional data at the bottom. So that's how simple it is, folks. And with the elite version of WP Recipe Maker, we have the meal planner feature here. So in here, and so if I go back to that recipe, we can go save to recipe box. We can create different collections. So say we're planning a party, you can allow your visitors to save recipes to a specific collection that they can plan parties, or maybe they're doing training, maybe you're into fitness like that, maybe you're doing cookery lessons, anything, folks, to do with food. Even if you have an e-commerce store, shoppable recipes are coming really, really popular. So we can go to the inbox there, and when we go to the collections, that page, we can see here now that the recipes are there, and we can generate a shopping list. And in this e-commerce store, see the way I have it here, I have links to the products in the shop, so we can actually shop and plan our meals at the same time, shoppable recipes. It's the exact same as what King Arthur are doing over the huge big bakery company over in America. They have the same thing. They have a recipe hub, it's called, and you can save recipes and shop for flour, baking, all the baking equipment and ingredients at the same time. Tons of supermarkets are getting into this. They're all creating recipe hubs to promote their products and to educate people how to cook. I love this subject myself. I'm an ex-chef myself now, working in web development and digital marketing. So there we have it. You can do that now with the top version, with the elite version of WP Recipe Maker. You can create, you can allow your website visitors to create digital cookery books there. That's what's there. So I said, we go back. We want to go back to the site. I said there's different. Back to main site, we want to go to WP Recipe Maker, get the plugin, and there you go, folks. There's different versions, and only the top version here has the recipe submissions feature that does the shopping list and save collections, and that's the one I recommend, folks. You want that. Bread is doing, I think it's 30% off this week at the moment to celebrate his birthday. There's only 2 promotions each year. He does it for his birthday in January now, and he does it in, what is it? It's November for Black Friday, where everybody's doing promotions online. So grab the deal now, folks. You want the elite version there, because when people create the digital recipe book in your website, it creates a user account, is the way it works. When they register over here, I'm logged into the site now, so this won't, I have to go into edit page, but I'll show you what I mean. You will create a registration form like this, so that when people register on your site, they can create their own account to save their recipes to. But the really good stuff is that when they create that account, it also creates a user account in WordPress. We can see the different people here that have signed up, and we can add those new users into our email marketing software. And that's what you want, folks. You need to be concentrating on your email marketing. And this is a great way of building relationships with your audience for selling your products, selling your services, selling your lovely cookery classes, promoting your recipes online, maybe working as a brand ambassador, working with brands, and that's all the good stuff there, folks. So there it is. Where is the different versions? It's there, and I'm recommending the Elite Bundle because you want to build up the recipe hub there. That's the way forward, folks. So hope you enjoyed that. Like what I said, remember, stop using Wix. Don't use Kajabi either for your memberships. You can do all that in WordPress. What else is there? What other platforms are people using? Squarespace. You can't do this in Squarespace either, folks. You know, like in this e-commerce site, when we go back, you might have noticed a button there. When we go into the meal planner, I have a section here. I have a help section for videos for people to show people how to use the recipe collections. And then if we go into Foodie Classroom, which I've added, I actually have a cookery school hub in the shop as well. So we're using people can save their recipes and they can go in here and they can do free classes to educate themselves about cooking techniques and the products. But the education centre could be anything, folks. If you have a weight loss program, doing coaching, you could charge people for this service, you know, where you're doing weekly Zooms online, or you could have pre-recorded fitness programs, and you might be into niches. What are big things like a lot of people want to go plant-based. You might be doing a plant-based program, weight loss. People could have allergies. Could be anything, folks. Like, there's so many opportunities there, and that's what's going on. So I hope you found that informative. There's it, folks. Like, get off Squarespace, Kajabi, and all that stuff. We can all do it in WordPress. And if you need help with this, please get in touch with me, Jonathan, on social media there, or directly at the Catered Websites website, or over at WP Foodie School. So bye for now, folks. Take care and see you in the next video.